Yes, ma'am.
When John and Kurt approached me about this ceremony, I was kind of bewildered because I'm saying, okay, they want me to speak. I have no problem speaking. I got to find the right words. You know, when I started out in the 60s, there were maybe 4 schools in New Jersey. Now there must be a couple of hundred schools. When Eugene Percival came to Fort Dix, he came as a 3rd degree and he became a master a few years later. Now in this room, there are probably 50 masters and probably 20 grandmasters and all their lineage behind them. So that's a big thing. You know, my goal in life was to combine the schools. Years ago, we separated. So today, what I plan to do is, I plan to promote people from all 3 schools and hoping that they will come together down the line in the future. Then my question was, what did I give Eugene Percival for a birthday gift? You know, he's 75 years old. God, he made it that far. I remember times when people go to the mountains and cut out a big stone and they come down off the mountains and punch through it. I remember the times that he would go into the bathroom, he would disappear. I said, where did Gene go? And Forrest would come out and kick Gene in the groin. And I'm saying, this guy is crazy. You know, but that was quite a while ago. When I started out with Forrest was a red belt. You know, he was my mentor, and he gave me a good foundation. And what happens, happened, but I'm here to try to bring it back together. In the beginning, I used to look at pictures in books. They look at pictures, you didn't read the words. You saw the picture, you say, I can do that. Why should I read the writing? So I looked at the pictures. As I got older, I said, the pictures mean nothing because I don't know I have to read the writing now. So in the last 10 years, I did a lot of research, a lot of reading about the masters of the past and what they actually were striving for. And the biggest thing they were striving for was, let me find this word because I keep on forgetting it, I wrote it down. Legacy. Legacy is probably the biggest thing these people, these instructors, were striving for. What they did was, they amassed a great amount of students, they started organizations, they had a great following. But then a lot of these organizations faded away. Because Jim didn't like Bill, Bill didn't like Jim, and all this other good stuff. Now we have opportunity. This is the first time in 42 years that all 5 systems have been in the same room.
Yes.
The question is not what I did, what I've done. The question is what you have done. Because without you as a group, a person like Eugene Percival, my Grandmaster Forrest Blair, would have no reason to be here and talk all this stuff to you. That's what it's all about. So, again, I said to myself, what do I give Gene for his birthday? And I would like you all to stand for a second. All the black will stand. Face Mr. Percival. What I'm giving you for your birthday, legacy. I think that's the most important thing we as a group can give you. Us.
Us.
Some of you know me, and some of you don't. And what I'm going to do tonight is, as of January 1st, I am retiring from martial arts. And I have decided, to bring up a young man named Carlos Martin. Carlos Martin is going to be taking over the system as of the first of the year. What I decided to do to make his life a lot easier, because I know most of you black belts who are masters had no mentors who were coming up. You came as a black belt, you opened the school, you got promoted, and all of a sudden there was no one above you but you, and you were on that pedestal. And that pedestal is what destroyed a lot of black belts. So now I've decided that I'm going to do something that isn't very often done. I'm going to have 4 mentors. One is from Norway, one is from Connecticut, one is from New Jersey, and one is from South Carolina. These people, these men, all have had schools for more than 30 plus years. They weren't in the arts to actually, well, we weren't businessmen, so we didn't make any money, but we were in the arts because we wanted to perpetuate the style. So I want to call up Paul Eric Rude, Mike Lawrence, Paul Martin. I think everybody here? Who's missing? Yes, and Roy Wade. Now, I would like you probably to hold your applause, because I'm going to give out a lot of stuff tonight, and maybe all there at one time. These gentlemen have been with me. Paul Eric had come from Norway back in the 80s, and he was a Viking. I'm serious. You know, one thing I did good for Paul Eric, I took him to Camden, New Jersey. We got to Camden, New Jersey. All we saw was a bunch of hard-ass black guys. And what happened, they ended up respecting him because he could fight just as good as they could. But again, he's a very talented martial artist, and you know, I love him dearly. Roy Wade, who is Johnny Wade's brother. The Wade family have a dynasty in the martial arts. Their mother was a black belt in judo, I believe, right? That's what she said one time to me. And everybody else, Johnny, Bobby, his sister, they all were in the martial arts. At one time or another, they all studied with me, which I really appreciate. Joe Martin, who is Carlos's father, was a very unique person. He is a perfectionist. Back in the late 80s and early 90s, he had one of the top jiu teams in the country. He's been in karate for as long as I know him. Mike Lawrence, like Johnny, and like my friend back there, Stanley, and a couple other people, they started their schools when they were red belts. And when they started the schools, they became black belts eventually. Now they're masters and grandmasters. Mike Lawrence. When I met Mike Lawrence, and he's kind of short, you know that? when he came to my school, he was on a Harley Davidson. He had a beard, a red beard down to his wherever, and he had this bandana on. And he walked down to my basement, and he says, I want you to teach me karate. And he's been with me ever since. So it gives me great pleasure to promote these 4 men to the rank of 8th degree black belt, and they're going to be the mentors to Carlos Martin here to be taking over the system. Okay, gentlemen? Stand close.
Close.
Okay, now half the people in the room know me, so I'm going to start doing some years. Tony Bogan's not here. Tony Bogan has, I tell you, if you go back in the 80s and the 70s, Tony Bogan, he was probably one of the premier fighters on the East Coast, and he had one good thing. He loved to jump, he loved to kick, and he loved to fight. You know, that was his forte, and I love him dearly, and I wish him well whatever he does. Say again? But
that's his little brother?
Like I said, I want the schools to come together. I don't know what it's going to take. Is it going to take Mr. Martin? Is it going to take John? It's going to take the people in the room. Eventually, we should come together because we're only as strong as our weakest link. And unfortunately, a lot of us are weak. We don't become strong. Trent Zapata, boxing, we have boxing. I saw boxing about a month ago. I said, man, what happened to you, boxing? You lost all that weight. But he came to me and he brought this together, and I was glad to help him. And I'll get this together. Now, let me talk about some people that you don't know, and that's Peter Hunt. Peter Hunt back in the 70s, Peter thought he was black. Because all his friends were black. And he's from Germany too. And Peter came in and he really did a phenomenal job. He's a journeyman martial artist. He's been to Korea, he's been to here, he's been to there. He's studied so many schools you wouldn't believe. And when you don't have a job and you're on your luck, he had karate. And karate is how he made his living. And that's what he's still doing today. I'm going to promote Peter Hunt today to 50 black belts. Because I'm really excited about retiring, believe it or not. I really am, because what I'm doing now, I'm reading a lot. I know more about the martial arts now than I did 40 years ago when I started. And this is what it's all about. Chuck Answer. Chuck Answer was with me in college. He was my best man at my wedding. And he's been with me ever since. He is now a student of Forrest Blair. He's been around a lot. And because I want to unite these styles in this book, I want to promote Chuck Answer, 60-degree black belt.
Us.
John Moore approached me 10 years ago. And John, you eating back there, John?
Was kind of blowing my nose.
John Moore approached me about 10 years ago, and he said, people call me Chuck, but my friends call me Charlie. Okay? He said, Charlie, he said, I have a big favor to ask of you. And the favor was, I want to promote my instructor, Eugene Percival, to 10th degree black belt. And what we did, these people right here did, they gathered about 80 black belts in New Jersey, and on that day, Eugene Percival was the 10th degree black belt. That was unification. That was something that was unprecedented at the time, and it happened. And also at that festival, we promoted Forrest Blair to 9th degree black belt the same day. So we're trying to make sure that everybody, that the lineage and that the legacies are all in place. But John Moore,
Yes, sir.
it'd be a great pleasure, John Moore, to promote you to 60 degree black belt.